Robert.
Yo, what's shaking AC?
Well, that was weird. That was a different one.
Yeah, there's a little glitch. The artificial intelligence in here needed to do a little reset, a reboot.
Something weird happened there. Okay, well, are we sticking with it? We're gonna keep rolling.
No, let's keep rolling. People like
Okay.
the sincerity.
Yeah, people like authentic. They like when we screw up and say I'm a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we talking
Um,
about?
okay, I want to jump right into something that's been on my mind that I thought that I'm gonna share something I've learned, and maybe this will be you learning it too.
Maybe.
It's
I
a,
don't know what you're gonna be talking about. Maybe I already know it.
yeah, you probably do.
Okay.
It's about accountability.
Okay.
So I've been really cluing in, I guess, tuning in, cluing in more lately to what accountability actually means. And what I used to think it means was, and it still means this, but this is only component, is doing what you said you're going to do. But I would argue that accountability is it's now, it's doing what you said you were going to do. It's reporting what you said you were going to do in business, at least. And it's being accountable. Accountability is being accountable.
Nostalgia is only nostalgic because it's nostalgia.
Yeah, what's that called? Circular reasoning or definitions when you
Yeah,
use.
circular
Okay,
definitions. Yeah.
okay. Let me try this again. The third one is what are you like being responsible to fix if you don't hit what you said you're going to do. So
Okay.
let me give you an example. And this is something that Stephen and I have been really tuned into, which I think is awesome. So if something, say something, I'll use Stephen. Sorry, Stephen, throwing you under the bus. He never watches these anyway. He won't know. Right?
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if he
Okay.
watches them.
Okay, Stephen. Okay. Anyway, we won't tag him in the text. Okay, so say Stephen's responsible to um get sales to a certain amount at
Okay.
ACA. And so the accountability is actually, doing what he said he was going to do the work, get the results. And then if he doesn't get the results, then coming to me with, I didn't get the results, but here's the game plan. Here's how I'm going to do that going forward and by when. The game plan includes what I'm going to do and by when.
Hmm.
So I think that's something that I wasn't thinking about before, like with accountability, that I was thinking accountability is just like reporting weekly what you did that you were supposed to do. And that helps with accountability. But I think then what are you going to do if you don't achieve your thing? It's like an example would be if you decide to, I'm going to become active. I'm going to start going to the gym 5 times a week and I need you to hold me accountable. Well, if so accountability is one, you calling me out if I don't do it. But then you also saying to me, well, let's figure out like what are you going to do to make sure that you actually get to the gym now? Because just like I might just feel embarrassed that I had to admit I didn't go, but
Hmm.
does that actually change my behavior? We don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not doing the best job of explaining this, but do you think you're
Okay.
getting it?
Yeah, I think I'm on the same wavelength as you. So maybe I'll interject here and tell you how I think about it, right? Because accountability these days is used very loosely. For example, if you have a staff member that's responsible for marketing, right? And you're like, okay, you're going to post on social media, and they post on social media. Well, that's their accountability, but they could easily say, well, you didn't tell me to comment when people comment. You didn't tell me to repost. You told me to do this. That was my accountability, and I did it. But in order for me to be accountable for other things, you need to disclose what those are. And I will meet those accountability requirements. And to me, that's not the way to go about it. I think about accountability. A synonym for it is responsibility on a very large scale. So I love to give the example of a parent, specifically a mother, Somebody could give you a list, feed the kids, drop them off at school, all that sort of stuff. But what if something shows up that's not on the list? Like they have their first breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Or maybe they scrape their knee and you didn't have in your list, make sure you disinfect and put a band-aid on it. You have to go attack that particular instance and solve it. So when I think about accountability, I say, this is your responsibility. end to end. Anything that may happen, that will come up, that will not come up. Solving a problem, not solving a problem, going through it. It's accountable that you achieve this benchmark, and you need to figure everything out within it. Because accountability to me is not giving you tasks and trying to forecast everything that could go right or wrong. You have to have that totally under your umbrella. And if you don't, you're not accountable. You're not responsible.
Okay, so that when you first started saying all this, I wasn't agreeing with you, but I am now,
Okay.
because what it just sort of triggered for me is the accountability chart, the concept of the accountability chart, which we have talked about on a rant before.
Yeah.
But where it was coming to mind is, if I'm accountable for the shareholder value of AC Inc., the value to the shareholders of AC Inc., then that's a good example, right? My job is to do the buck stops at me.
Yeah.
If there's not value, it's I missed something. So if I don't know what to do, I got to go ask for help, or
You
I
got to
have to
figure it out.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So with the mom example, it's like you said, like maybe accountability isn't just steps in a checklist. It's making sure that in that case, that the kid's well-being, which would include, I would argue, physical health, mental health,
Yeah.
emotional, all that well-being. And you'd have to be clear on what that means too. Actually, that's another point. And I feel like expectation setting and clarity is also all part of this, because if we say maximize shareholder value for AC Inc., well, what does that mean? Like what
Yeah.
amount? What, like there's gotta be some like clarity on what you're accountable for. How do you know if it's a yes or a no? Yes, I did achieve it, or no, I didn't. Well, if the kid, it gets sick all the time, and well, that's actually a bad example, because that's not the mom's fault. Like that was a really terrible example, because they can get sick. Let me take that back.
Okay.
But like, if the kid is just not disciplined, acting out all the time, not showing up to school, all these things, that's how you can measure. I don't know where I'm going with that. You go now.
Okay. Now you go. No, you go.
No, you go. I'm
No, you
having an
hang
off.
up.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm having an off day, it seems. I'm not like.
That's okay.
Anyway.
Well, let me give another
You carry the
example.
weight. You carry the weight here. Come on,
I
sound
can do
smart.
that. I got this. See the weight of the world on my shoulders?
Yeah. So for anybody that's listening and not watching, he's putting a small squishy ball, stress ball of the world
Yeah.
that he's putting up.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's an example. I think from what I've seen, the vast majority of businesses, like you'll have a business and somebody will know a little bit about ops, a little bit about marketing, a little bit about everything, but you always get somebody who is a specialist in that. But the vast majority of businesses where the team almost knows nothing about that particular silo is finance. You kind of have this like siloed group in finance. A lot of people like, I don't get it. I'm not interested in it. Just make it work, right? And so when you hire a CFO, hey, make it work. Because of your decades of experience as a CFO or a fractional CFO, what needs to be done. You know our culture, you know our mission, and everything you do has to go towards that direction. So if you as a CFO deem that the company needs to acquire capital or go out for sale, like you got to make that decision. And then if you make that decision and everyone approves it, you got to figure out how to get it done, right? You can't expect that somebody will help you. It's a super bonus if somebody can help you. But in that scenario, a lot of people don't know much about finance. You're on your own. You're accountable for it. So you got to figure it out, especially if you have pedigree and history that has trained you how to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you took that in an interesting direction, as usual. That's the beauty of the rants.
Yep.
And of Robert Bruski. It's always keep me on my toes. I'm like, where's he going? Okay, all right, I'm following.
Yeah, come on a journey with me. Come on a journey with me. I'll
Yeah, that was a
explain.
little bit of
Everything
a
will make
journey.
sense.
That's definitely a bit of a journey. But anyway, okay. So it sounds like, yeah, I think we're aligned on this one. So accountability, yeah. And I think it's just it can make or break. It's one of those make or break things in a business,
Yeah.
and families and all that stuff. So hopefully people got that, and they're gonna now go be accountable. Not go be awesome. Let's say that. Go be
Okay.
accountable.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2,
2, 1.
1. Go
Go
be
be
accountable.
accountable.